When I first started posting videos on this channel about a month ago, my aim was to focus on games from a more atmospheric and tonal perspective. I did it with Tekken and I kind of did it with Shadow Hearts Covenant. I found that games which make me feel a certain way tend to stick with me long after I finish playing them, and one other game I feel is one of the best in this regard is Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. It's a turn-based JRPG developed by Atlus that was released in 2003, and it's seen as one of the best in the genre. But I'm not going to get into the gameplay or mechanics in this video. I'm instead going to talk about the atmosphere and ambience this game gives off. Nocturne just has this oppressive, lonely and almost uneasy feeling that will stick with you throughout the entire 50-60 hour journey. Right from the beginning you have the start screen. You just have all these demons shrouded in darkness with glowing eyes, with the protagonist, the demi-fiend, standing in the middle. There are no humans here, you are just by yourself surrounded by demons. Then, when you're about to start the game and select a difficulty, you are then shown this screen. You just have this creepy old man with a masked woman staring at you while this ominous track is playing. It just feels oppressive and almost suffocating having them watch you select a difficulty while these red abstract shapes are pulsing in the background. This screen doesn't give you that excitement of beginning a grand journey like you would feel in a typical JRPG. It just feels apathetic towards you. It almost feels like a calm before the storm. You have this uneasy feeling, and I love that because right before you even start the game, the tone has already been set. You then start the game in this dreamlike sequence, a stark contrast to the previous screen. You are met with this feminine voice and figure who almost feels comforting, until you realize what she's actually talking about. She's telling you the world is going to end because it just has to happen. You are then asked to fill in your name as well as the name of your friends. But one thing that immediately stood out to me was that you can only see a silhouette of them. You don't actually see how they look like, and that makes them feel quite distant from you, like your connection with them isn't as strong as it should be. You then actually start the game in a subway station and you quickly realize it's completely empty and abandoned, apart from this one security guard who's only here because it's his job. There's no one here to welcome you to this world and provide companionship. Right from the start, you are alone by yourself and there's zero human presence. Eventually, you'll speak to the security guard and he'll tell you that there are riots going on outside caused by a certain group or cult. So your first exposure to the world of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne is that, well, the world has gone to shit. Your friend then texts you rather than showing up in person, telling you that you're supposed to meet your class teacher and that she's located in the hospital, so you end up making your way over there. You then arrive at the hospital and meet your other friend. I don't know if it's just me, but something about your friends in this game feels quite cold. But anyways, the three of you are looking for your teacher when you realize that the hospital is also completely abandoned. There's zero human presence here apart from your friends, so you spend the next 10-15 minutes exploring an empty hospital with nothing but ominous music playing. It gives off the feeling that something is about to happen, but it's just not quite there yet. You find that your teacher is nowhere to be found, so you decide to check the underground, and you immediately notice that something is definitely off here. Papers are scattered everywhere, there are bloodstains on the floor. You have this one room where, yeah, something definitely went on here. Eventually you'll find a man sitting in a dark room talking to you about the end of the world. The unsettling thing is that he's saying all of this with absolute certainty. The world is ending and there's nothing we can do to stop it. You then find your teacher, but it turns out she's in league with this man to bring about the end of the world. If you remember at the beginning where we were talking to that woman, yeah, that's her. Throughout everything that is happening, you just feel really confused and left out of everything. Eventually the world ends. Everyone has either died or gone missing, and what was once a flawed but living world has now become a barren wasteland with demons as its inhabitants. As for the protagonist, he gets turned into a half-demon by this creepy child and masked woman, and from there the game truly begins. Again, I mentioned this before, but there's no JRPG party to welcome you here, no companions to do banter with, your friends have gone missing. The only friend you have now, and I'm using that term very lightly, is the kid/old man and masked woman, and to be honest, all they see you as is an experiment. They only want to see how far you can go before you drop dead, because you are the fiend they have chosen for this test. Most of the time, you interact with them in this very theatrical setting, with an audience of demons watching and clapping while you're boxed away in some window. You're always really far away from them when they speak to you, so they're not exactly friends, are they? So now you're made to traverse these weird locations by yourself. The game doesn't tell you where to go. There are no journals or objective markers in this game. You are actually on your own. The only way to know where to go is by talking to demons or souls who tell you of the location you should be heading towards. After that, you are on your own to figure out where to find it. I can understand why this can be an issue for some people, because you can be left wandering for hours on end. But eventually you will start to memorize different locations the more you play. Thankfully, I'm quite good at memorizing places and locations, so this wasn't too much of an issue for me. You then have the dungeons, which are labyrinthian in nature. There's also no guidance here. The maps will only fill in once you explore that area. You are made to reach the end all by yourself. You will get lost, and you will find yourself backtracking without realizing. To me, it feels more like you are wandering rather than exploring. While all of this is happening, the atmosphere in these dungeons feel like they're constantly weighing down on you, which only intensifies the more lost you feel. Your only sense of comfort are save points, which are not that common. Every small bit of progress you make in a dungeon feels like an accomplishment, and I'm not sure if any of this is intentional or just frustrating level design, but I'm going to give the developers the benefit of the doubt here, because I don't get this feeling exploring dungeons in other games outside of this series. I feel like it's one of those instances where it comes down to the player and how they perceive it. You do eventually get to talk to people, or at least their souls, as well as demons, but you will quickly realize one thing. Nobody in this game actually cares about you, except for maybe Pixie. To everyone else, you are just a person passing by or somebody they can exploit for their own gain. They're all just apathetic towards you. You do, however, get to see your friends again as they go through their own journey in this changed world, but the more you interact with them, the more unrecognizable they become. They have either become enlightened or brainwashed, depending on your own ideals or worldviews, and just like everyone else, you will soon realize that they are also using you for their own gain. You can argue that the demons in your party can be seen as your companions, but to be honest, they are only there so you can sacrifice them for fusions. So you're getting rid of them just as quickly as you meet them. But going back to the human characters in Nocturne, they all want to establish their own rule over this barren world and mold it in their own image. Their ideals are known as a reason. When you come across each of them, they all give you a pitch on why you should lend your power to help their cause, and the choice is completely down to you. There are 6 endings which are determined by the choices you make during major story points. Again, I've mentioned this already, but they really don't care about you, except for maybe one of them. They just want your power to help establish their own cause. They don't ask for your opinion on their views, they just want you to agree with them. It just feels like you are a tool or an object to everyone. Of course, you do have the choice to reject all of them and forge your own path, and doing so requires you to complete a bunch of additional content. So that includes exclusive dungeons and boss fights you won't find in the other routes. This route is generally seen as the best one, and I just find it ironic how the best ending is the one where you end up alone, with zero human presence around you. You then have the music of the game. You will mostly hear these ominous tracks playing while you are exploring. These are more on the atmospheric side, while the battle themes are more on the heavier side. These are hard-hitting metal tracks with these demonic voices yelling in most of them. Honestly, there's not much else I can say about the music. It kicks so much ass, and I just wanted a reason to include it in this video.
Not bad. Now, don't hold back!
Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne is a special experience, and it's a very special game for me. The gameplay, mechanics and overall gameplay loop are still extremely solid and hold up really well. But what really makes it stand out from the rest is the ambience and atmosphere of this game. I don't think you will find something like this anywhere else outside of the series. If you've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't played the game, then you should definitely give it a shot if you're open to playing an older JRPG. Thank you for watching, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Oh yeah, this game also includes Dante from the Devil May Cry series. You thought I forgot to include that part, didn't you?